Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, September 3rd, and we are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. I am in 15 tick increments as we finally get the day that I had been looking for a while. I'd be absolutely lying to you, just like everybody else is going to be lying to you on Twitter if they said they expected a day of this magnitude. Okay? I've been saying for days now, actually not for days, for a week now, because I started this trade last week. I was looking for the market to come into balance. It certainly stretched out more than I thought it would. However, buying the 360 puts yesterday and adding to the 355 puts made this a fantastic day today overall. Before people start panicking, this is healthy for the market. We're still one-time framing up in the monthly and the weekly, right? It's going to be very important now, tomorrow and early next week. If we do take out last week's low, we're close to it, or if we hold that, do we take out this week's low? If not, nothing's changed in the long term and intermediate term. Short term has definitely changed as we're now firmly in balance. Volume was tremendous today. Let me rephrase that. It was excellent, 135 million. So a lot better than what we've done in the recent past. Is it the long time frame? Getting a lot of questions. This is different time frame. Look, I said yesterday I wasn't sure if the long-term buyers were in because the volume was getting better. And then look what happened today. One day doesn't make a market. Okay? Especially now we go out with a trend there. We have 3 sets of single prints. We traded sideways for a while, right? We ended 7 wide, I believe. Triple Qs ended 8 wide. When you really look at it, even though we have 3 sets of single prints and they're fairly large, this is a big one, this is decent, this is decent. Remember, I'm in 15 tick increments. So the trend day down is pretty large. However, if it's real long-term selling, even though we did push lower in L&M, they consolidate a lot here and turn into what? Kind of a B shape. For my money's worth, I think here and even in the triple Qs, this market was so long in the short term, right? The daily, one time framing up for 9 days, that we got a huge flush, right? Down 3.5%. We were down over $12. We were down at one point, $15? $15. But I still think right now it's just short-term longs that got out and shorts that pushed down. We'll see. Let's see what happens tomorrow and going forward next week. So that's how I'm looking at it for now. We took out a lot of destinations on the downside in one fell swoop. As far as my trade, so those puts, I'm absolutely flat now. I'm absolutely flat. I got what I wanted. I didn't think I'd get it in one day. So everything I had lost yesterday took back and a lot more on that trade. Actually had a call trade that I innovated on, almost got in a lot of trouble, but ended up working out very well. I'll go over that in a minute. So for my regular trades today, so A period, we opened in balance in value. I didn't do anything. B period, took out A's low, started one-time framing down, got on board with a short, and I played, everything I traded today was tomorrow's expiration, September 4th. So I bought the 357 puts, okay, for today. Rode that down, had a very nice trade. Now, as I was doing that, I was also managing the other trades. Again, it's easy to see what we did here and say, okay, yep, we did one time frame down the entire day until K period, so nothing told me to get out of them. But I was making money on my original short. I had making really good money as we started getting down. I took off the 350s first and the 355s as we were coming down. And then the 360 puts I held those pretty good to the end, somewhere around here. I think it was right above here. And this is why I took the call play that I'm going to talk about. So the rest of the 360 puts I took off somewhere around the 349 level, 349 a quarter level. Now, D period, and where I almost got myself in a lot of trouble. We really were ripping, really thought we were starting to get a little stretched out. I thought we might get some reprieve at these two daily lows, okay? So I started a call position. Actually, I bought good size to start. I bought 300 contracts of the 350. And don't ask me why I bought the 350, because they were out of the money at the time. You know how I like to play in the money. For whatever reason, I bought the 350s. Bought 300 of them that expired tomorrow. They went up initially pretty good. And I took 200 off and made good money on those. So not only now I was flat on all my shorts, made really good money. I took off 200 right away. But then we flushed and flushed hard. And I'm long the 100. And D period, if you recall, D period's range was over $6. So I started gagging on those 100. I added 200 more. I added 200 more down around D's low, and then when E opened and couldn't take out D's low, I added 500 more. So I was on 800 of the 350 calls, and they were $4 out of the money. And then they just started going up, and I started scaling out of them, and then finally we got back up right around, right? That's where I took the trade originally. When we started getting up near there, I was out of all of them by that time. Turned out to be a very good trade. Was it a smart trade? No. The add-on in E, I don't have a problem with that, because now I know my out. If we take out D's low, I'm out. Right? So, and then after that, believe it or not, we traded sideways a lot. So in H and J period, I played the 344 calls, just small scalps. Every time they went down, when we made a new low, we came back in, made a new low, came back in. So you were able, I tell the room, when there's a trend day, either get on the trend side or stay out of the way. Now, I obviously went against that in D period, but I did it for a couple of reasons. Like I told you, I thought we were stretched initially, and I also thought we might hold this level a bit. So I didn't advise my room to take it, and they didn't, and I told them. But when could you have gotten long? Well, once you get two-sided trade. D, E, F, G, this all became two-sided trade. Now, the better trade is still a short, because for each push-up, you were getting more to the downside, but you certainly could have made money on longs in here, which I did in H and J period. So that's how the day went. I'm flat. Again, for my money's worth, I still think it's short-term traders, at least initially. All right, destinations for tomorrow. So we finally have a lot of destinations on the upside to lean on. First one will be, we had a price probe. M took out L's low. Now we closed $4 above it, just about, but I'm still going to use it, 342.79. So if we don't open below that, it's rejected. Then we have K's high, 347, and I was looking for an afternoon rally high to short, but that would have been Innovator again, and I didn't think we went above J's high enough, so I thought we had a decent chance of getting to G's high. So I certainly missed an afternoon rally high of 347. Then we have the single prints, 349.41 to 350.35. So that's E's high to C's low. Then the second one, 351.49 to 352.01. D's high to B's low. And then the largest one, which is 200 ticks, 353.16 to 355.16. And then today's high of 356.38. And yesterday's all-time high. Yes, we made the all-time high yesterday, folks, at 358.75. For the downside, we have today's low of 342.59. Then we have a daily low of 342.27. 341.79, which was 12 wide, back on August 24th here. We're in 15-tick increments. That's why you really can't see it. Then the real important one, 341.06, which is that day's high, and that's day's low, and it's a weekly low. And then filling the gap at 339.72, 134-point gap from August 24th. That's the next big destination for sellers on the downside to take out that weekly low. Okay. Now, let's get to, real quickly, look at triple Qs. Same thing we had, right? Except they ended up 8 wide. I don't count N. So they ended 8 wide pretty much. Now, they only have 2 sets of single prints, but it's still a trend day down. However, if this is long-term selling, now I know they pushed the market down pretty good, but the market's also been up very good. So I would have thought we would have gotten more to the downside. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Now, let's get to the charts. And I know this video is a little longer, but again, on important days such as this, I think they're worth it. I hope you do too. So, monthly. Nothing's changed in the monthly. Yes, we're back inside of last month's range, right? But again, it's only September 3rd. We're still one time framing up 5 months. We're still above the real important one, February high of 339.08. That's where I would have some concern. If you get acceptance back into here, then I'd be a little more concerned. But we're one time framing up 5 months. There's no worries yet. Now, this is a bad low. For some reason, they put 337.86, as you can see here, as a pre-market low. The low today is 342.59. So we are still one time framing up. I'm not going to change it because tomorrow it should be gone. They just show that sometimes with a pre-market low, which is incredibly frustrating. So we're still healthy. Are we inside yesterday's range? Absolutely. I'm sorry, last week's range. Yes, we are. But we're one time framing up for 9 weeks until we take out last week's low, which is 341.06, or if we don't take that out tomorrow, until we take out this week's low, which right now is 342.59, nothing has changed. We'd have some two-sided trade and some balance, but we're still one time framing up. And that's what I'm looking for, right? We've been saying this. I'm not going to say I'm a genius. We've been looking for this. This market got stretched out. It was only natural that at some point we'd come into balance. And here we are in the daily. Balance. Markets don't go bull bear. Yeah, we were down 13 points today. That's not bear. That's balance. We just finally put us in a very nice balance. Yesterday's high is the high of it, our all-time high. And as of right now, so today's low is 342.59. You could use 342.27, or if you want to even stretch it a little bit, we could use 341.06, last week's low. Right? We'll see what happens tomorrow. If we trade inside yesterday's range, do we come out of it? Then we'll decide. Again, balance is a subjective, right? There's no written rule. Nothing's in stone. But all we are is in balance. What I would really like to see is to take out today's low, fill this gap, take out this weekly low, fill the gap, and then come into a nice 3 or 4 week balance around here. That would be nice to see then. Do we come out of it? It would be healthier for the market to come out of for the longer term to the upside if they do that. If we come out of that balance to the downside, well, then something's changed. Anyway, we had a really good day today. You know, we have a lot of people in this room, and the goal is not only am I trading, I'm educating, informing them, trying to keep people out of trouble, and at the same time making money. And I think for the most part, the entire room had a really, really good day and or at least stayed out of some major trouble. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.